Welcome. I am your Polkadot Specialist Var, and today we're going to talk about HydraDX and some possible major changes. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It will help out greatly. So today, HydraDX is one of my favorite projects, and they announced some possible things that we're going to possibly be voting on as a community. And I kind of want to give my perspective. Some things to me are a little controversial, just in general. So I know there's going to be a lot of different talking points. I'm trying not to make this video too long, but so let's go ahead and get into some of the major things. So this video is going to be a HydraDX video, but it might be a name change to hydration. So we'll talk about that as we go. So what are some of the major changes that may happen? So I was able to pull up one of their news articles. I just wanted to go over a few talking points. So HydraDX, and I will go ahead and post a video that shows a past video I've already done that shows a little bit about who HydraDX is, in case you missed my prior episode. So I'll go ahead and link that. So they are a DEX, which is decentralized exchange. It's one of the things that they do. So pretty much what they do is they do a lot of financial things. Switching out coins was the main thing that they were doing, but now they're going to start to introduce some new things. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of some of the article here. I just highlighted some points, not to make it too long. All right, it says to unite the Holy Trinity of DeFi. So DeFi is decentralized finance. So that just means that it's not a single entity. There's a lot of people coming together, networking to lead this. It's not like a corporation or a company. So that's what DeFi is, decentralized finance. So DeFi is decentralized finance. And again, I'll link my video for that. And so what is the Holy Trinity? So AMA, which is automated market maker. So that is how they do their swaps, where they have like a pool of funds, and out of this pool of funds, you can switch out different coins. Now they have a special pool called the Omni pool, where you can just use, it's just a whole bunch of assets put together. And because of them being put together, they have a lot of benefits. So, but not to go too far into it, like I always try to say, I try to make things simple. So pretty much they have one big pool of money with a whole bunch of different coins in it, and the system is able to swap coins in this one big pool called the Omni pool. And this is an automatic market maker, where the pool automatically does, the trading based on, how much assets are in the pool. Then we have the money market. So that's just pretty much going to be like your lending and borrowing. And then you have a stablecoin. So a stablecoin is just like the US dollar. It's pegged to an asset. So we'll say the US dollar. So it's going to be 1 for 1. So it's going to be a cryptocurrency that is 1 for 1 for the dollar. So each one of this particular cryptocurrency will be considered $1. So that's the Holy Trinity. So you have the swaps, which is the automatic market maker. You have the money market, which is like your lending and borrowing, and then you have the stable coin, which is like your US dollar, all under one major technology, Hydra, or possibly hydration. And I have my mixed feelings about that, but we'll get into that. So that's why they have destination hydration, pointing towards the possible name change. Okay, all right, so now let's go ahead and start here where it talks about the lending and borrowing. It says in the first place, lending and borrowing will soon launch on our testnet. This is made possible by a fork of Aave. So Aave is one of the most proven technologies when it comes to lending and borrowing. So a fork just means they're going to take some of the base of that technology to bring over some of that code to help build out what they have, and that should expedite things. And also, since it's proven, as long as they patch different things and update it properly and stuff like that, it'd be a solid proven technology that they're going to build upon. So that's actually a great thing, that they're going to be using a proven technology. So to make that simple, Avi is already existing technology that's built on Ethereum, and they're going to use some of that code to help them build out their lending and borrowing. So that is great. Now, they are going to, it says, new native decentralized stablecoin. Now, my particular thought on this. So, the decentralized stablecoin can be very great. So the technology that does it best is a technology called DAO Maker, and MakerDAO. It's MakerDAO. And with MakerDAO, they have the DAI token. And the DAI token is a stable coin that is 1 for 1, or the DAI coin is 1 for the dollar. But that one has been around for a while, and they do it well, great. And it's one of the major stable coins that is in cryptocurrency. So that is an example of it being done correctly. Now, the one thing I will say is there's been a number of cases where it has been done wrong. Now, I have extreme faith in this tech team. I talk to them a lot when it comes to asking them questions and different things like that, when it comes to Hydra or hydration. And they're very responsive, and they push out a lot of different updates. They're very, very knowledgeable about the tech. So I do have a lot of faith in this particular team. So that is definitely a plus. But I will say this is something we definitely have to keep our eye on, because there has been some major, major cases when it comes to stable coins that use collateralization and different lending and borrowing. So there has been some major projects and products that have really been devastated because of either errors or different things like that. So some that come to mind would be Acala. So Acala was considered, I believe, was the #1 parachain, or the #1 technology to come out on Polkadot initially when Polkadot was launching. And it was supposed to be, they had the Acala Dollar, which was AUSD, which was their particular stablecoin. What ended up happening now with them, it was just some dumb stuff where I think that somehow they accidentally allowed like a backdoor, something dumb happened, and somebody was able to hack the system and print a whole bunch of coins. And that coin has still never got back to $1. So there was a lot of people that lost a lot of money because of that. And that really devastated the protocol, or devastated that particular technology on Polkadot. And I do think that was something that kind of set us back a little bit during the down season, okay, which they call the bear market. So when crypto was down for about 1.5 years, and then that happened, that was definitely not a good thing, because Polkadot was doing great, and that was the most popular. I want to say they won the first spot when it came to launching technologies, and they got like grants and all types of different things like that. So just that one error pretty much destroyed that particular project, that particular protocol, or that particular technology. And they still are recovering from it. There's still a lot of money in there, and I think there's still a lot of money in there because people are trying to get back to where they were. But that's an example of where a stable coin really negatively impact. There was a few other ones, such as there was one built on a technology called Cosmos, which you had Terra Luna. I want to say there was so in finance you have this thing called a bank run. I'm trying to make this short. So bank run is just pretty much where you're lending out money, and then you have so many people so you lend out money. So people deposit their money, and then you lend it out. But then you have a bunch of people try to come in to get their money, but the money's not there yet because you lent it out. So because of that, there was like this major situation with Terra Luna where they, I guess, lent out way too much money, and somebody tried to recoup so much at one time, it caused there to be a bank run, and people started seeing their money going down, and they were just running to the technology, to their wallets to try to take their money out, and it devastated that project. So we're going to have some serious protective measures when it comes to who we lend to. I'm not even getting the Celsius situation, but that was more centralized anyway. That wasn't really truly crypto. That was really a company in crypto. But you don't want a situation where we have a high risk situation, and because of this high risk situation, it destroys everything that's been built, okay, with our investments and things like that. So we have to be very careful. So I do know that I believe they're going to be using the Omni pool, which is great. That means they're going to have a lot of assets. And I want to say the model, there's two different models that can be used. And I know I might be going a little technical, but it's kind of more of a technical video than some of our other ones. But there's two different ways the lending or borrowing can happen. You have more of an Aave compound type situation, I believe, where you can have like where the lending is done by, you have individuals that lend out the money, and you give them interest based off of that. And then you have the collateralized debt position, which I believe is the model we're doing is more of the MakerDAO, where people will just borrow against the Omni pool, which is pretty much you're borrowing just against the system versus you borrowing against a person. And then they're going to give you in exchange, they're going to give you a dollar in return, which is going to be called the Hollar. So that's the next thing we're going to talk about. So the Hollar is going to be the new stable coin name. Now, at first I was like, holla at your boy, but at first I wasn't, it had to grow on me a little bit, especially when I found out why they call it the Hollar. I knew it was like the H dollar, like Hollar, hydrated dollar. So now I like that. I do like the fact that it's hydrated dollar, because in my mind I was like, there's just so many different names. We got HDX, Hydra, the hydration, and so in my mind I'm like, well, can't we just, then we got the Omni pool, so I'm like, can't we just use a name kind of? So then I realized that the reason why they did that, they're saying Hydra dollar. So it's kind of is a little bit off of the Hydra aspect of things. But at the end of the day, this is, if that's the name that we want to come up with, I'm okay with it. But at first I'm like, and then I was even saying to myself, it almost seemed too long, but then, it's only 5 letters or what? It's 6 letters. It's 6 letters. So I'm like, maybe we could somehow shorten it. But I mean, even if we go with, Omni dollar, something like that, or Omni D, or, something, I don't know. But the H dollar, or the Hydra dollar, the Hollar, it's fine. That's not a big issue overall. I would like to be able to vote on different names, but you never know. But it is a stable coin. I'm more concerned with not necessarily the name, because I do think it is pretty much a spin-off of the dollar. You got the Hollar, so that's cool. I'm more concerned with the protective measures, and I know they do have some. So the fact that they're bringing in a proven technology, the fact that I think they're going to be using the Omni pool, and as long as we're not doing like major lending to some non-collateralized situation, that's where people really get in trouble when it comes to these. I would really want to be I would do small loans. I would do no major loans, because it could be very impactful in a negative way. And if they could pull it off, it'd be great. And it would be the first major stablecoin on Polkadot that is successful if they can pull it off. If they can pull it off, which I believe they will, and then just to go into it. So then they're going to do the lending and borrowing. So the money market on HydraDX, users will be able to put their assets to work by deploying them into a lending pool. These funds then become available for other users to borrow in exchange for providing collateral. If the over collateralization of the debt dips below a certain level, the position is partially liquidated and the lending pool gets repaid. So pretty much, if you put an asset on there, so what this means is the way they lend in crypto is, say for instance, you don't want to sell your asset. You got a whole bunch of Polkadot, but you want to take a loan up against it. So you put it up there, and as long as Polkadot doesn't hit a certain price, like drop below a certain price, you're fine. But if it does drop below that price, they're going to sell your coins to get their money. And you'll just keep whatever dollars or hollars that they give you. That's essentially how that works. So they're going to lend and then give you out something equivalent to the dollar. Okay, now, all right, the ability to execute liquidations against the Omni pool is a huge proposition. So this is where it talks about instead of you really lending and borrowing from an individual person, is actually from this big pool of money, which is a good thing, because then that means all the assets in there will help stabilize the particular lending and borrowing and help against stuff like a bank run or a run on the money, Let's see. Since all actions will take place on the same dedicated, non-congested chain, the protocol is able to focus on making liquidations as fast and efficient and reliable as possible. So I do like the fact. Now, the great thing with Hydra is its own layer one and its own major technology. So they can be very flexible and very adaptable, and they can customize things better than, even Aave and some of these other technologies that are built on something. See, HydraDX or hydration is its own major technology. And because of that, it has a lot of flexibility because of Polkadot. So, yeah, so these are all good things here, where it looks like they're going to be using the Omni pool. Okay. And this is where it talks about using a proven technology in Aave. So, we talked about the name of the stablecoin, the Hollar, tell me below what you think of the name Hollar, which again is fine. I'm more worried about security and safety. Now, the rebrand, that's the last thing I want to talk about. Now, I'm hurt because I like Hydra. I like the multi-headed monster. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like the. Now I'm not big into dragons and stuff, but I mean it's a Hydra. I would say it ain't a dragon. It's a Hydra. The mythical beast that when one head comes off, you get another head and all that. I kind of like, you could do a lot of great things with that. Now they say the reason why they wanted to do name change was, I guess, over in either in the European area, if I'm not mistaken, over in Europe, there was another crypto blockchain called Hydra that was that had very bad reputation. They did some stuff that was illegal, black market things, and they didn't want to be associated with that. But in my mind, I'm like, hey, it's that's in crypto. You hear that stuff all the time. All the time. And in a year, ain't nobody gonna know nothing about that. And also, I guess maybe they wanted to get away from Hydra. So the only thing, also because maybe the dragon or a hydra might have also a negative meaning. So they're thinking that there might be negative meanings towards. So the only for me, I can only speak for me. But in my mind, the only way I'm going away from Hydra is if I have concrete like exchanges or people saying we can't use it because of this. If that's the case, then fine. But if it's just you're not getting feedback saying that, we already have brand recognition when it comes to Hydra. And we're still new, So, I mean, I have seen rebrands work. So, A-Star went from Plasma to A-Star, but they did that before they launched. We've already launched, and now we're about to go into a bull market. I don't think it's the right time to start confusing people with name changes. You also had a name change with Matic going to Polygon. That happened, and they kept the two names for a while. But I just don't know if this is the right timing to do this. And also, I like Hydra. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, man, don't play with my name. No, I like that. Now, now there are some different things. So if we do end up going into hydration network, I can see like some different elixirs and different bottles, different things like that. But I would say, and then here's some pictures here of like Miami Vice type themes. I do like pixel art. Like, if we do it, I would like it to go into like pictures like this with like pixel art and things like that. I think that would be cool. I do think that you could do a lot of great things. I really like this here with this this Lamborghini with the guy on top of it and the pixelated art. So if we can have some stuff like that, that'd be great. But I would love to be able to keep the Hydra name. The things that I would do differently, if it was me, if I were to put a proposal up, I wouldn't necessarily, personally, we have stablecoins. Maybe having $1 does help with extending the brand out there, where you're out and you have more assets out there where people will come to Hydra because of that, or you have more brand exposure. So that is a good thing. But it does come with the risk that I had mentioned earlier with what happened with Akala, what happened with other similar types of technology. And I know our team is really awesome and I do trust them. But in my mind, I thought the best way to do it, because we already have the Omni pool, which is all these different assets. Now, three of the assets that we already have in the pool are stablecoins. We have DAI, which I already talked about with MakerDAO. We have USDC, which is I want to say that's based on Coinbase and Circle, and then we have USDT, okay, which is the number one when it comes to available out there. That a lot of crypto does exchanges with that USDT. So we already have those three, and we're already utilizing them in the Omni pool. So in my mind, I thought the best thing would be to do the lending and borrowing and just use the stable coins that are already available. So, and now USDC has already become native to Polkadot. So it's already on Polkadot, So I was thinking maybe we could keep the stable coins we have and just use those as what we're lending out. And now we don't have that risk of like a DPEG or it not being one for one of the dollar. I don't know. That's kind of what I was hoping in my mind, possibly, since we already had 3 stable coins that we're utilizing. And then we just show the power of the Omni pool, and whatever stable coin you want, we'll just give it to you. So that's kind of one thing I was thinking. But I do understand the branding where you have your own product that you're sending out there that people can utilize. So I can see that too. And then this will be the first successful one on Polkadot. There is another one, not to go into it, which is the BAI, which is from HydraDX. But they're primarily on Ethereum and A star. So they are on A star, but they're not in the whole Polkadot ecosystem. But so this would really be the first successful one on Polkadot, and Polkadot would finally have its own dollar or Hollar. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. The other thing that I wouldn't change real fast is, just to go into that, not to make the video too long, would be maybe have hydration be the lending and borrowing section and Hydra be the exchange section. But you keep Hydra as the main name, and then when people want to do the lending and borrowing, they just go to the Hydra. The hydration section, I should say. The hydration section. And I hope they don't do it where it's all under one. I hope they do it where it's like either a tab or something where you go to lending and borrowing side, which is kind of like a little separate website, versus the main one for the Hydra. Because I'm concerned that it might look, for newer people, it might be too much to see and would take away from some of the simplicity that we've kind of built in. So as long as we could do where it's like split sections where you got the lending and borrowing side, or advanced section for lending and borrowing, kind of like how Kraken and Coinbase have like their pro version versus their basic version. Or maybe we can have it where we can set up, pretty much like an advanced section that has the lending and borrowing, and then you just have your simple swaps and stuff. So that's the other thing. I don't want us to lose some of our simplicity. But I love the team's creativity. I love the fact that they are constantly putting new things out, because this is what's going to drive the overall adoption of the technology. And this is why I'm involved in Hydra. Hopefully we keep that name. Hopefully we keep that name, baby. Hydra. You know where my vote's going. But anyway, I am your Polkadot Specialist. Like and subscribe. Thank you for listening to me. Have a blessed day.